You're like the Fonz to me.
He hits the jukebox. Ayy.
Or Pinky Tuscadero. I just
Pinky
dated myself
Marcadero.
twice. What?
Malachi Crunch. What if me and Brandon just gave you the...
Oh, no. The Malachi brothers.
What did we not get as a toy in the last couple of years? Like, we know now that toys are hitting that collectors only era because there was so many of them.
2024, the year of everything you ever wanted, they made. Except, I have a few.
Okay, go.
For one, I'm just going to call it out and say just a whole genre that they forgot about, Atari toys.
From the 80s or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
Like Atari toys.
Don't tell that to Funko because they'll do it.
No, Funko is dying.
I own Funko, but I
do
even
too.
know that.
I do too. I don't own stock in Funko.
I own some Funko.
Let me guess. TMNT.
No.
Oh. Tell me two.
Cubert,
Okay.
Pitfall.
Okay. I like where you're going with this. Rubik's Cube.
Pac-Man.
Rubik's Cube from the.
Rubik's Cube.
So could we do these from the animated TV shows?
That would be sweet.
You know what I mean? Because Rubik's Cube had one. Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. They've had toys for that, but not this year.
Pitfall.
Pitfall.
That
be
was
awesome.
Activision, though.
What about Zaxxon?
So can't we just? Was there one in Zaxxon? Can't we just say
Just
that
a
they were
little
80?
show.
You could go genre up because you could do Donkey Kong Jr.
Like or old video game toys like that. They haven't really touched into that too much. I mean, and people would be like, "Oh, I love Cubert,"
I will say that Cubert, yes. Like, I see more younger people collecting vintage stuff than I see them collect. And not because it is oversaturated, but there's so much to choose from that they're choosing retro.
Well, we're the first generations that grew up with like toys actually having noticing or seeing that toys have a value like later on. People want to buy them.
Like the
or
collectability of it.
Yeah, actually, these guys that like have Star Wars in the box and stuff in the box from the 70s, they were like revolutionary if you think about it, because now it's like people buy two. One to open, one to keep on the box. Could you imagine being like a kid in the 70s and here you got like Shogun Warrior and you don't open it?
Like millennial era, like people didn't even think about like bagging a comic book. You just roll that thing up and put it in your back pocket, or just throw it in your backpack, or
they would do like paper drives, and like a lot of comics just got destroyed that way.
Oh,
well, you could also say a lot of that has to do with the way that it was again oversaturated in the 90s. With not only that, and baseball cards, football cards,
kind of killed a lot of things.
Basketball cards killed.
Death of Superman.
Everything. Shaq rookie card destroyed. Destroyed collecting for a while. Black Series, Star Wars.
So the first two waves, I was all in. I was like, oh my God, this is great. 6-inch Star Wars figures. I can't believe they finally made them. I wanted this for so long. And then it's like now it's like you can go into any store and almost guaranteed to catch any Star Wars figure for clearance if you wait. As long as you don't want to be like the first kid on the block to get it. I mean, it's very rare you can't get any figures for 70%.
It's always the Stormtrooper collectors,
well, those
Army builders.
for sure.
I only collected the bounty hunters and the droids. Really,
I have never seen Legos on clearance before.
You can catch some sales, but you rarely see Legos hit clearance.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I will tell you about, like, no matter how many toys, like, say this Godzilla figure we're talking about, no matter how many of those they make, it's not enough. Because, even so some might sit on the they're looking at it like, we sold this thing for $30 right away, and we sold 200,000 units of this particular toy. Who cares if like the other 200 units went on clearance? We already made our money on the first. Like, they're well into the black on that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, even like G.I. Joe or any toy line, like what do you consider limited? I'd say like under 10,000 seems like that's kind of limited with how many collectors there are. I mean, because considering we know there's at least 5,000 collectors in Minnesota.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if there's something that's limited to 10,000, that's not very much. I mean, considering Minnesota has for sure 5,000 collectors, but when you start talking about 30,000, okay, you just divide that up between all the states then and the whole world. 30,000 isn't like, say if you had 30,000 pairs of like Michael Jordan, like his first pair of shoes, dude, you'd be a billionaire. You know what I mean? But it's like that's something that's so old. But if I had 30,000 HasLab Galactuses, does that make me rich now?
Yeah.
No, it just means that I would make probably an extra $100, $200 if I controlled the market. That was the only way anyone can get them is through me. I have every single one.
I just mean the Sentinels would get you more.
For sure, the Sentinels are the army builder. Yeah.
Because I'm seeing a lot of the DC stuff on clearance constantly now that are Build-A-Figures. And so then you've got a couple of Build-A-Figures that are really interesting that people want, and then they go after them. And then you got 1 million of them on clearance, and that doesn't do the industry any good.
So, like, the DC Build-A-Figures, because he pumps out so much Batman and Superman more than any other.
Are we talking about McFarlane?
Yeah. And it's like that's like
It's pretty much what you mean when you say DC these days.
Yeah, and it's like, so he's pumping out so many Batman and Superman. He's got to almost put a Batman and Superman in every wave or every other wave. He's alternating them.
But there's 2-packs or like they're going on. They're coming out and then going on clearance like a week later. Like the Batman and the Bane from Nightfall.
But then he's also got those. See, I don't really, and we know I'm lying when I say this. I don't really buy the 7-inch McFarlane ones, but I totally do.
You buy them all in box.
Yeah,
we've seen it. We have the episodes.
I do buy
it.
them, but I'm digging the little smaller 3 3/4 ones that he makes even more, like the old kind of retro superpower looking ones.
Okay.
And it's like, to me,
also a better price point for you get limit like $10 for like
$10
5
is
points
5
of
points
articulation.
of articulation. Yeah.
People don't like over articulation nowadays. Ever since Toy Biz, Marvel Legends, I feel like people are kind of like, enough. We don't need that much.
Well,
in the toes.
because
toy photographers love it. They still do.
They do. But I mean, instead of having every single finger move, they'll just throw an extra set of hands in the box now.
Yeah.
So they cut out that articulation that way, or like.
But they give you extra pieces.
Yeah,
People
like
will buy it
an
if
extra
you get
angry
all the
head.
accessories. You get an extra gun.
Let's be honest.
They don't do a lot of guns anymore.
That's true. They don't
An
do a
extra
lot of
knife
guns
or
anymore.
something.
They will. So we put that. Let's be honest about what Build-A-Figures used to be. Was an adventure to like get your treasure, and find that cool piece to complete it, and that's great. Then they realized we liked that. So then what did they do is they started repurposing all of these, and like you said, adding another set of hands. From what? From what other figure?
What I have noticed is that a Build-A-Figure that came out 3 years ago will come out as a deluxe figure now. So like Venompool, for instance, is the most recent one. And I mean, it sold out right away, but it's still, as a collector, that like, man, I chased all these down and I got Venompool. I'm feeling pretty good about Venompool, and all of a sudden, like a year or two later, they're releasing a deluxe one where I could have just waited and got it. For
they do the deluxe one, McFarlane. The more annoying thing is they give you the whole set with the figures plus the Build-A-Figure. When it's like, I just spent like $40 more buying each figure separately.
It's a slap in the face.
Set. The sets are the way to go if you're going to get those.
It's a slap in the face.
Well, I mean, they know, and it's like this goes back to why I quit collecting Batman figures when Mattel was making them, because we got Ice Burst Batman, Flame Batman,
I'm not going to
Ancient
defend
Pirate Batman.
But they also did that with like the zebra Batman.
But the thing is that
the Bullseye Batman.
They're
Bullseye
using the
Batman.
same mold. It's just a different paint job, and everybody that's like, man, I was all in. I was like, dude, this is the next coolest Batman figure.
But you just defined the business plan of Funko.
Remember, like when we were all first getting together here and meeting, like you guys were collecting Funkos, and I was like, I don't collect those. I was like, and I don't want to like
Babies,
discriminate anyone, but I feel like that's like one of the like it's a kindergarten of collecting. Like you're just getting into collecting. I'm gonna collect Zippo lighters.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna collect spoons. My mom has a huge collection of spoons.
Or those
People
precious
get shot
moment,
glasses.
the precious moment ones.
You know, but
those
Wow.
but then it leads you on to like, oh man, these are pretty cool. But whoa, look at this. Say you collect Deadpool Funkos.
Yeah.
And all of a
This
sudden you
Deadpool
walk into the
figure,
tent
yeah.
toy aisle and you're like, whoa, look at this Marvel Legends Deadpool. And then next thing you know, you're collecting Hot Toys Deadpool, which is like a 200. Like so,
Yeah.
literally, you're
Remember
starting
that-
off getting a $10 figure,
Yeah.
and then you, as a collector, because eventually, I don't care who you are, if you're a collector and you have enough stuff, you spent $100 on something before.
Yeah.
You probably might have spent $200 on something before.
Yeah, I was always mainly comic books. I had action figures when I was a kid, but I got back into collecting because I was like, I'd only been doing comic books for the past from 2000 to 2015, and then I got into Funko, and then I met people that were in the posse, and I got in the posse. Then I started collecting everything, like Funko,
like
Power Rangers,
it's a
vintage,
very
new,
addicting
Marvel
thing.
Legends, DC.
When you have a bunch of
Right.
other like-minded individuals going, oh man, I was just at Target and I got these on clearance. Do I need all the Voltron Lions? No, but when they're
Yeah.
on sale, I'm gonna go grab them, and now I have Voltron.
This is called enabling.
We're
We're
totally
talking about
enablers.
enabling,
Yeah.
and that's not good.
Yeah, you didn't buy as much until you started
That's
getting
not
in the
true.
groove, right?
I was just in denial of all of that. You called Funko collecting amateur beginners collecting.
Kindergarten of collecting.
yeah,
I call
kindergarten
that.
collecting. Dang, okay, that would be.
See, do you agree with that?
That,
do
that,
you agree
that
with
is
that?
like the
But let
the
me-
synonyms you get, like the other toys you
Can I-
talked about. Like I agree.
I would say the same thing about the homies.
Yeah. Well, no,
Homies was the Hot Wheels, Matchbox, any
Yeah.
kind of cheap toy is
Yeah.
literally like the
and everybody knows
the
it. It's such a wide
Nickelodeon
variety of stuff.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. I
Yeah.
mean, the WWE basic figures, like you know, that's just like so. If Funko Pops and Homies are the
It's a good
kindergarten
starter.
of collecting,
Good starter collecting.
then like those next basics in 3 3/4 inch re-releases are like the first grade.
But also anime, I think anime is getting people into figure collecting, and the resurgence of Pokemon.
But I would disagree with you with what you said about it being amateur or beginner.
I didn't call it amateur. I just said it's like
You
that's
did.
that's how it kind of
You did.
they fish people into like
I like this, Mike, because I can say you did.
no, I
You
didn't.
totally did. Brandon?
I don't think I
you,
called
you
it
said
amateur.
kindergarten.
I definitely
Kindergarten.
So
called it
that
kindergarten of
alludes to
collecting.
it being amateur collecting.
I don't think that it's amateur. I don't think it's kindergarten. I don't think it's beginner, just like you had said. But
Really
I
call it
think
amateur.
I find that we won't call it amateur, Marcus. Okay? Or I don't want to hurt your feeling. So,
The one feeling.
one
To
feeling
rule
is-
them all.
But I will say that I think you might be missing a complete point and only a part of it when I think it's those endearing things, the simplicity of that toy, like a Hot Wheel that's repeated, like anything from Play School or Mobile that's repeated and typecasted by itself. I think that that's the endearing part of that. People like the cute little, what are they, like Bobseed toys or whatever they.
So, what I was trying to say is
And I was amateur.
Joni goes into
Loves
Target
Jordan
and
does love Chachi.
and she's like, man, I love Chachi. There's a Chachi Funko Pop. I don't even collect toys, but man, I love Chachi.
Yeah,
So you
that's
know
true.
what? I'm into kindergarten now of collecting because I'm gonna get Chachi. Oh my God, there's Fonzarelli. That he reminds me of Chachi. Now I have every single member of the frickin' Happy Days crew, and I'm in kindergarten.
First of all,
of
don't say
collecting.
frickin'. Second of all, don't touch me or hit me to prove a point.
And
Third of all-
don't call me Shirley.
Third of all,
I'm just gonna point at you then.
you collect Funko Pops
I
too,
have
and
some.
you are
I
just
do
as
have
guilty
some.
of that
I
as
do have some.
I.
I do have some.
And the sports ones
I
too.
feel like that's kind of an easy autograph too.
It is because they got like a nice fat spot they can sign.
and it's quadrupling
And
the value of
it's,
it at
it's
that
cute.
point.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's Justin
You can have it on
Jefferson,
your
and I
desk.
got
See,
his
that's what I'm saying is that
autograph,
it's
you know?
cute.
But that's
It's not amateur.
after you have
It's
8,000
cutesy,
of that.
yeah,
How cute
yeah.
is that?
I don't know.
Say you have every member of the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
Are you going to go ahead and
The whole
collect
Brady
the
Bunch.
monkeys?
Maybe.
Are you going to get the Brady Bunch? Are you going to get Hogan's Heroes? And pretty soon you have so many Funko Pops because I mean they
Dating
pretty
yourself.
much
Don't have enough room.
no, but I mean they pretty much release every one of these franchises, and
They
they're
re-release
old.
them, a lot of them.
They're not trying to sell those to him. We lived through this once already because
Wow.
the Beanie Babies
Well,
was
yeah,
the
it was that,
exact
yeah.
same thing,
And
it's
everyone
like,
had Beanie Babies. They're
Yeah.
trying to sell the Princess Diana ones.
I
and-
guarantee you, like
Right?
if everyone you know has had a Beanie Baby.
Yeah, no,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Everyone had been like, "Oh, I
Accidentally.
remember this."
Yeah.
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 I went into Petter's
I mean-
Warehouse and they had all these like Minnesota Vikings ones, and they were like $2 a piece. I got like Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss, Chris Carter. I mean, I had like bags of them because I was like, these
Yeah.
are so cheap, I'll be rich someday.
Yeah, that's the same people that bought 100 copies of The Death of Superman. And
I don't know what they got against the comic industry. They've been trying to kill it for 40 years.
well, yeah, ever since it came out, and then they were like, you need the comic code.
I mean, yeah, it's like they just have like everything they do. It just seems like they can't get anything right. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
one or two really good stories a year out of all the comic books that come out.
I don't remember
you know
any
what I
good
mean?
one in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
It's
and
all
I
old stories.
might just be talking trash because I used to
Yeah.
collect a lot more comics, and
No,
I
you're
don't.
talking trash.
I totally am talking
No,
trash.
totally.
I'm taking it Oscar to the can, Grouch. You know, it's like I used to collect a
Oh,
lot
what
more.
a Sesame Street burn!
Ooh, take that down to Sesame Street and Electric Avenue.
Listen here, Mean Gene.
Electric Company.
Yeah.
So Eddie Grant was on Electric Avenue
Yeah.
with Electric Company, and you grouched him.
I grouched it.
So Snuffleupagus,
Well,
was he
there
real
is
or not?
there is the dumpster match coming up on Friday.
They're doing a
and
dumpster match. They haven't done a dumpster match since like WrestleMania 14.
Chelsea Green
Oh,
and that
versus
Galler, I forget her name.
The tag team.
Are we
The tag
talking
team
about
match, right?
wrestling now?
No,
Yeah,
no,
we're
we
talking
just
about wrestling
we just
now.
parlayed because of
Chelsea
Oscar
Green.
Grouch.
So there's
brought
an
it.
industry that's
Viper,
never had a Funko
Nixon.
Pop.
No, they do. WWE made them their
No, they don't.
own official. What are you talking about?
Brandon, shut up.
Big E's gonna make a comeback possibly.
His neck is all.
No, they
jacked
said
up. Is it
if
fine
he
now?
gets one more clearance from the doctor, he might try to make a comeback.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, Dan O'Brien made a comeback. They were like concussions took him out.
Well,
but
Stone Cold wrestled after he would never
He
edge.
broke his neck. Yeah.
Can we be done now?
Talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
We can talk about.
How dare you?
No, I wanna fill my Captain Britain.
Okay.